Computer. Doo, 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 doo. All right.
Da-da-da.
Ready for another round? It's Brewsday Tuesday. Here is Huck and Big Nate.
And there's fires. There's this, bullets flying.
When I started working here, there was nothing in the employee handbook about. I mean, you don't even technically work here, so I guess.
Yeah, I'm like a free agent. So my employee handbook for my employees was use your best judgment all the time.
My judgment's pretty lousy, Huck.
That's why I didn't hire you. So here we are back, Mardi Gras beers. Now I got to confess that Huck kind of hucked it a little bit, and Nate's not drinking the Abita Purple Haze he was supposed to be drinking because it fell out of the truck and the top came off, so I had to drink it. In order not to lose it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you can do in that scenario.
So I didn't have time to get another one. So he's drinking, which is, it's legitimately one of the strongest beers around for a regular beer. It's Hop Slam.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. This is not necessarily a failure. This is a Mardi Gras miracle, if you will.
Yeah. So
it's the Bell's Hop Slam Ale. Bell's easily one of my favorite breweries.
Yeah, and easily, if you were going to be drinking at Mardi Gras, you don't drink sissy stuff. I mean, their signature drink is the Hurricane, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like got 7 kinds of liquor in it because we made those one year. We made those one year. Oh, and the hand grenade. The hand grenade. So we made the hand grenade, and it's like that's the one. It's 7 shots of liquor. There's nothing in it but liquor and ice. And we made Whitney came to that show. And we made 3 of them, and I had to take 1.5 of them home to the wife because nobody would drink them. They were too strong, the hand grenades.
I mean, it's all liquor.
Just can imagine how drunk these people are. And they're, drinking them in 18-inch tall
all day
hand grenade things with a thing like a explosion cloud on the top you drink through.
So that's the other thing is the all kinds of fun drinking vessels at Mardi Gras. You always see pictures of crazy, like long tubes that are bright and colorful.
Yeah. And they're full of liquor. I mean, it's just full of liquor. I mean, you'll see people drinking those and you'll be walking down the street and then you'll turn around, come back and you see them. They'll be all sitting on the curb, just crying and stuff because they're just so drunk. But there's other things I forgot to mention, or maybe we're still in the show, so I didn't forget, is there's 2 things you have to have while you're down there in terms of sweetness. You have to have some pralines, which are round candies. They're toffee-ish. And you have to have a beignet. And a beignet is a little donut covered in powdered sugar. You look like you snorted a half a bag of cocaine after you eat one. And you look like the guy from that movie.
Scarface?
Tony
Montana?
You look like him. But anyway, so, and we always do that. We get eat. So the other day we were down there, last year, 2019 New Year's, we were down there. And we're sitting there waiting for the parade, New Year's Day parade. It's like 2 in the afternoon. I said, let's go over to the beignet shop and get us a box of beignets. Okay. So I go in there and everybody's like, yeah, I'll just take a regular one. I go in there and look and they had a praline beignet.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay. You just took like the sweetest thing ever and put the sweetest thing ever in the middle of it. And they were delicious.
Now, that does sound good. I like beignets and I like pralines. So
yeah,
the 2 together.
Unbelievable. And the thing about the po' boys sandwiches. So the thing about it, all the bread fluffs up because you're actually below sea level.
Yeah.
So that's why your po' boy bread is so good. It's all full of air. And the same thing with the beignets. They're all full of air. You can't make them here.
So now, po' boys are traditionally shrimp, correct?
Oh, they can be anything. Actually, I think originally they were like roast beef with a lot of, there's a name for it. The juice, the drippings. And they call it
au jus.
Yeah, but they call it something down there.
That's French.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Let's see.
I mean, now you're making me hungry.
Oh, I know. They're good.
We should have done that. Where do you go around here to get a beignet?
I don't know, but where you go in New Orleans is generally a gas station. They make the best po' boys. I don't know about the beignets. You go to that beignet shop. Okay, so it's called the Debris. So a roast beef. That's probably the main one. Is the roast beef, a debris po' boy. Basically, they take the meat and they cook it and forever. And when they bring it out, they take the liquid that the beef is in and put it on your thing, and then it falls apart in your hand. But it's delicious.
I'm salivating over here. What are you drinking, by the way?
Oh, I am drinking the Turbo Dog, which again has a great label, 5.6%. It's a brown ale. Boring. No, that's pretty good. Brown ale. I tried to get all Abita beers, but we just don't get a lot of them.
No,
and nobody else from New Orleans, from Louisiana, is even distributed in Virginia.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
That's what I was going to say. Is Abita. I mean, I've been drinking particularly the Purple Haze for years. See previous segment where I mentioned I love fruity beers, and it occurs to me that's the only brewery I know of in Louisiana. So, like, what's the brewery scene like down there?
It's good. It's good. There's one called Nola that's kind of famous, but excuse me, the guy's like kind of a jerk. I met him. I went in. His beer's okay. There's one called Courtyard Brewing. They're probably the best brewery in New Orleans, and they just moved. So I don't know if that's going to affect. But the guy's like my age, and he's old school IPA kind of guy. He makes a lot of really big beers, and it was really good. And he's right there. He was probably like 10 blocks from Bourbon Street, but he's like under the bridge where all the interstates are. That's where he was. But he moved a couple blocks. But if you go there, you want to go to the Avenue Pub. It's got 2 stories. It's got 30, 40 taps, and they're really cool. And it's all really, really good beer. We happened in there during the Kentucky Derby, and everybody was dressed up. I won $150 on a $5 illegal bet because I happened. And what happened was that was when they disqualified that horse, and you didn't pick a horse; you drew them. Mm-hmm. And so the horse that got disqualified, they paid the guy the $150. Then the horse got disqualified. I'm like, hey, wait, that was my horse now. And they went, oh, and they found the guy and he gave the money back. Oh, I thought that was great because been me, I probably left. See ya.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
But yeah, so that was amazing.
So you brought up something there about the bread when we were talking about the po' boys, and it's something I wonder because it's a lot of the same process. Yeast ferments in
like
bread to make it rise. So do they have issues when they're making the beer? Like for instance, if they were to make beer in New Orleans with
overcarbonation?
Overcarbonation.
Not that I've heard of, but that's an interesting question. I will bring that up next time I have the opportunity, which might be soon because now I want to go back. So there's a bar there. We were talking about what to do with when we didn't have the other Abita beer. And we were talking about getting a screwdriver because there's a bar there called Mother's. It's a restaurant called Mother's, and basically it's all Southern cooking, and it's changed over the years. But the first time I went in there about 20 years ago, I was hungover. I was at a security convention, and I rolled into Mother's and I ordered I think it was a chicken liver omelet, which you don't see everywhere.
No,
and I said, well, I'll take a screwdriver, and the guy gives me a glass and points at a dispenser. So I go over there and just put my glass on the dispenser, and it's a screwdriver, and they had a Bloody Mary one too. But I think they no longer let you self-serve those.
Yeah.
So they serve them now, but they're behind the counter. I remember I literally went over, it's like a drink bar, and made my own screwdriver.
I wonder how a self-serve Bloody Mary tastes. That's my go-to for recovery day.
Yeah, that's Liz
I love
too.
Like Bloody Marys on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Throw jalapenos in there, a little olive, bacon if you've got it.
Yeah, I like a Bloody Mary bar.
Yep.
Where they have all the accoutrements.
That same restaurant we were talking about, I don't know if they're still doing it, but that same restaurant we were talking about earlier has a fantastic Bloody Mary bar on Sundays.
There you go. I might have to check it out next time I'm in town.
I'll say I don't know if they're still doing it during
probably
the
not
pandemic, but they had like bacon, shrimp.
Yeah.
Shrimp and a Bloody Mary is really good too.
Yeah, and those pickled whatevers. Yeah, anything pickled.
Anything pickled is good.
Like those little corn things. I love those. But anyway, yes, we digress. So, but yeah, drinking in New Orleans is a big thing. I'm trying to think about other food. There's a place out where in Pontchartrain, Lake Pontchartrain Bridge. I think that's Metairie. In Metairie, there's a seafood place where you get, a giant plate of fresh seafood for like $12.95. Metairie. So Metairie, there's some good bars in Metairie too. We
That-
usually camp up that way.
That's the other thing. Here we don't get a lot of good seafood. It's really tricky to come by, but a place like New Orleans, you can get a lot of great sea and river food.
Yeah, I was in Myrtle Beach a couple weeks ago, and we went down with Merle's Inlet. Merle. I don't know who Merle was, but he's got good seafood. His inlet.
I mean, I'm all for seafood. I'm all for Mardi Gras now. You've sold me.
Yeah, you should definitely check
I
it
think
out.
I'm gonna have to make that trip down and make it happen. What's the so something you see pop up online a lot as being a big part of Cajun culture is seafood boils.
Oh yeah, a
So,
low
like,
country boil.
Are those
We do that all the time.
Yeah, we do them at our house too. We got the pot and everything, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things. But is that something that like they're doing at Mardi Gras as well?
Oh yeah, and actually we didn't even mention Jazz Fest. Okay, Jazz Fest is in April, May, and I go to that. I've been at it several times, and so they do. That's kind of like what we would call a barbecue down there. Is a crawfish boil. Basically, you put potatoes in and start boiling them, and then at a certain level, then you put in. Let's see, it's potatoes, and then you throw in corn on the cob, and then you throw in like kielbasa, and then you throw in the very last crawfish, or we do shrimp too sometimes. We do it 4th of July, we always do this. And then once it only takes like 3 minutes once you throw the last thing in, then you pull it off the fire and you put a bunch of newspaper down on a picnic table and you pour it out onto the picnic table.
The
And
move
everybody grabs it.
The move I've discovered with the shrimp, because I do it as well, and I'll throw the crawfish in and sometimes crab legs. What you do, you take another smaller metal colander,
Yeah.
put it on the top of the pot, put the raw shrimp in there, put a lid on, and it steams it perfectly.
Oh, there you go.
So you got the steamed shrimp, and then you've got your seafood boil.
Well, I left out the Old Bay seasoning. Is it Old Bay?
Yeah, I think that's assumed.
Yeah, but we always like put in twice as much as you're
Oh,
supposed
you have to.
And then
Have
my
you used
granddaughter
the,
makes me make a little pot of everything for her without all that.
Have you used the liquid they make?
No, last time I used it was like a sponge. It looked like a sponge packet.
Yeah.
And in the end, you took it back out, but it was amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So everyone this weekend, I think we're gonna have a surplus of people making seafood boils and po'
Oh,
boys. Yeah. This is turned into a food show. We need to start cooking.
Yeah. Well, you can cook with beer.
This is true. That's actually something that we should talk about on a later Brewsday Tuesday, because I've got a lot of beer recipes.
And also food and beer pairings. I like to pair potato chips with my beer. Sometimes Fritos, chip and dip. Just kidding. Nachos. Pizza.
That could be a whole show.
Pizza is like pie and pops.
We're gonna have to talk to the powers that be and see if we can get like a stove installed in here.
I'll just bring the RV over.
There you go. We can do it from the parking lot.
Yeah, we'll do it in the parking lot.
All right, so we've got that settled. All right, let's rate these beers before we forget and digress even further. Mardi Gras, man, it's fun.
Well, I'm just gonna have to say that I love Abita, and I love the label on the Turbo Dog, but it's brown beer, and they got 14 beers that could be shipped up here, and they're sending us the brown beer. Give it a 3.75 just because I'm disappointed. Disappointed I have to drink a brown beer.
All right.
I said it.
I mean, that's still above average.
Yeah, for a brown beer, that's a good score.
That's not bad. Bell's Hop Slam.
Oh yeah, here we go.
It's first of all, I want to talk about the ABV for a second. This is a 10% beer.
Almost a Huck birthday session.
And the key with beers when you get to that level is having them not taste hot.
Not doozy.
Like you don't want them. You want them to be flavorful. Well, Bell's once again knocks it out of the park. Hop Slam is gonna go ahead and get my very first 5. So there, I did it.
You did it? You 5?
It's a 5 for Hop Slam. I'm Horror Show Radio on Untapped. He is Huck's Beer Buzz. You've been listening to Brewsday Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras, y'all. What was that? The Cajun phrase?
I always forget it.
Let the good times roll in English.
It's laissez les bon temps rouler.
There you have it. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Well, I'll be back again next week with another edition of Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store.